Hi everyone, welcome to Emsley Lodge for another week in a Anzac Day weekend. So hopefully everyone gets along to the races this week and enjoys maybe a game or two up. We had a pretty average week on the racetrack last week. Everything raced and raced pretty poorly actually. A couple of horses were probably a bit tired and they've gone off the paddock, and a couple of other horses had little issues and probably need to work on them, and it looks like we're on top of them. You might need to have a couple of games of two up trying to recoup a bit of money from last week. But anyway, the best part about racing is always next week. Trialled about 8 horses at Geelong through the week, and a couple of them look pretty promising, so we'll show a bit of footage of that in a minute, and certainly a couple of horses there to follow. Runners this week, probably run King Manu at Geelong on Tuesday. He'll gallop tomorrow morning. I expect him to work well and he'll head off there. London Fog, he's ready to go back to the races. Just going to toss up, he's in a Kyneton on Monday in probably a really nice race for him, but Kyneton's at the wrong track for that horse. He's a big sort of long striding horse and little tight track. We've taken him there once before and he went terrible there, so just going to weigh up our options there a little bit. I'm not really sure, but at the moment we've got him in there and decide whether we go. We've also got Calvada in at Pakenham. Now it'll mean we have to back her up from last week. She went super at Terang last week. She's on target for the South Australian Fillies Classic, and we're still 3 weeks away. And it's just a matter of whether we back her up this week or whether we give her another week between runs and then go 2 weeks to the Classic. So we'll make a decision on Friday morning after she works whether we go there. So you'll probably see her accepted there on for Sunday at Pakenham, and just make a decision. It's the right track, it's the right race, just whether we need to back her up in a week's time. We'll make a decision on Friday. Yeah, here's Frothy and a horse called Cool World. Frothy, we've been mucking around with him a little bit, tried to set of blinkers on him. He just stood in the gates, but then showed way too much speed. And you can see that Ryan Maloney, the horse almost bolted with him mid-race, and he got a long way in front. But he did set up a good speed, made the trial good tempo. Cool World sat off him really well and got to the line nice. He'll go to the races the next couple of weeks. And Frothy, I'm not really sure which way we go with him, but we might just go right back to treating him like nothing like a speed horse. Yeah, here's 2 horses, Macrobius and a horse called Moot, who's an unraced Duke of Marmalade horse. Both horses trialled fair. Macrobius last time in was just showing he was quite an aggressive horse, but he just sort of seems to be really relaxed this time in, and I thought his trial was fair today. He might throw a bit of gear on him to improve him. Moot was having his first real trial and was probably a little bit slowish out and looked a little bit one pace to me, so he probably just needed one more trial before he goes to the races. He had a really bad foot injury as a foal, that horse, and was sort of very, very gently with him to get into the races, but yeah, a bit of improvement there, and but at least he got to the line okay. Yeah, a couple of 3-year-old fillies, a Targo Miss. She jumped and showed good speed and just sort of felt the pinch the last little bit. Probably nearly ready to go to the races. I think with one more hard gallop under her belt, she can go to the races. And Inyanga sort of got back and worked home strong again, and probably the first time this time in I've really seen her stretching out and letting go. So just toss up whether we give her another trial, but real nice staying sort of filly who I've no doubt when she gets to a mile will really come into her own, but really nice horse. Yeah, a couple of horses here. Northern Soul, the grey horse, sits outside the leader, and he trialled pretty fresh actually, and just felt the pinch late, and but he trialled. It's quite surprising with the speed he showed. So he's probably one more trial or maybe a couple of hard gallops off going to the races. Probably target him for Warrnambool perhaps. I think he's probably going to handle a rain effector going, and that might be ideal for him. And a little 2-year-old having his first real trial, a horse called Gallant I Am. He's an absolute little ripper, this horse. Jumped out, settled off him, and then got to the line really good, and his last couple of hundred was pretty good for a horse having his first real trial. So he'll have maybe one more trial and go to the races, but certainly a horse worthwhile following. Yeah, we had a crap week last week on the racetrack, and then we thought, oh, that's all over and done with, thank God, we started a new week. And so the construction started on the stables, and sure enough they hit the power and knocked all our power out. So anyway, but you can see this construction of the stables is sort of starting to come along, got the footings in the ground now, and we just need to get power to the site. But anyway, onwards and upwards.
G'day everybody. Going to Flemington this week. Kick off in the first, hopefully. Geelong's Flying Filly Appalachian Annie. $4. Should hopefully be too quick for him and prove a class above. Our second bet is in the VRC St Ledger. Pat Carey Stayer, All I Survey. It looks a pretty ordinary race, and Pat normally has a pretty good stayer in his hand. So hopefully at the $4, it can also put money in our banks for the weekend. So good luck. Happy punting, and hopefully I'll see you next week.
That's it for another week at Emsley Lodge. Thanks for watching. Pretty quiet week on the racetrack, I think. Maybe a couple of runners. Certainly, if you get a chance, get down to the dawn service, and it's something I think every Australian should do. and certainly show the diggers that we really appreciate why we get a lifestyle that we have, and without those guys going to war for us, we wouldn't have it. Certainly, congratulations to the Geelong Council for getting right behind the Anzac, the centenary Anzac this year, and they did a fantastic thing down there at City Hall and put a big light show on. I thought it was great. So until next week, see you later.